Emma Thompson stood by the hospital window, her tired eyes reflecting the grey morning light of the small English village. At 28, she carried more worries than most people twice her age. The past few months had been a relentless storm of challenges that seemed to crash against her, like waves against a fragile shoreline. Her father, George, had always been her rock, a strong, retired carpenter who had raised her alone after her mother passed away when Emma was just a child. Now that rock was crumbling. 3 months ago, George had suffered a severe stroke that left him partially paralyzed and requiring constant care. Medical bills were mounting faster than Emma could manage with her modest nursing salary. The local hospital where Emma worked was facing budget cuts, and rumors of potential staff reductions were spreading like wildfire through the corridors. She overheard conversations about potential layoffs, and a cold fear gripped her heart. How would she support her father if she lost her job? Every morning, Emma would wake up before sunrise, prepare breakfast for her father, help him with his medication, and then rush to her nursing shift. Her tiny cottage, inherited from her grandparents, was now a makeshift medical care center. Medical equipment filled corners that were once decorated with family photographs and her childhood memories. Financial stress was a constant companion. Her savings were depleting rapidly. Medical treatments, specialized equipment, and additional home care support were expensive. Emma had started taking extra shifts, sometimes working double rotations, just to keep up with the mounting expenses. Despite the challenges, Emma never complained. Her father had sacrificed everything to give her a good education and support her dreams of becoming a nurse. Now it was her turn to take care of him. She would sit by his bedside during her rare moments of rest, holding his weak hand and reading him stories, or talking about memories from their past. The village community knew about their situation. Some neighbors would drop off home-cooked meals or offer to help with small tasks. Mrs. Peterson from the local bakery would leave fresh bread at their doorstep, while old Mr. Roberts would help with minor repairs around the cottage. But Emma knew these gestures, kind as they were not enough to solve their fundamental financial challenges. At night, after ensuring her father was comfortable, Emma would sit at the small kitchen table, surrounded by medical bills, bank statements, and loan documents. Her fingers would trace the numbers, trying to find a way out of their financial maze. Sometimes tears would silently roll down her cheeks, not out of self-pity, but out of a deep sense of responsibility and love. Her colleagues at the hospital noticed her exhaustion. They saw how she pushed through her shifts, maintaining a professional demeanor despite her personal struggles. Some would offer words of encouragement, while others would discreetly help by covering some of her more demanding tasks. The local doctor, Dr. Williams, had been supportive. He had helped Emma navigate the complex medical insurance systems and suggested alternative treatment options that were more cost-effective. His guidance was a small beacon of hope in her challenging journey. Emma's life had become a delicate balance of care, work, and survival. She had no time for personal dreams or social life. Her world had shrunk to the size of her father's medical needs and her professional responsibilities. Yet, in her heart, she held on to hope, a flickering flame that refused to be extinguished by the winds of adversity. As the morning light gradually filled the room, Emma adjusted her father's blanket, checked his medication, and prepared for another day of challenges. She didn't know what the future held, but she was determined to face it with the same strength and grace that her father had taught her throughout her life. Her story was not just about survival, but about love, sacrifice, and the incredible strength of the human spirit. In the quiet corners of her small English village, Emma Thompson was fighting a battle that many would find overwhelming, and she was doing it with quiet, determined resilience. The unexpected setback had arrived, but Emma was ready to meet it, head-on, one day at a time. The community health event was bustling with activity, local residents moving between various information stands and health screening stations. Emma Thompson stood near the nursing information booth, her tired eyes scanning the crowd, while her mind remained preoccupied with thoughts of her father's medical expenses. Michael Roberts, a local charity worker, noticed her immediately. There was something in her posture, a mixture of exhaustion and determination that caught his attention. He had seen many healthcare workers over the years, But Emma's presence seemed different. Her uniform was neat, her name badge perfectly aligned, yet there was a subtle hint of emotional fatigue in her eyes. "Rough week?" Michael approached her, offering a kind smile. Emma hesitated, unsure whether to share her struggles with a stranger. But something in Michael's gentle demeanor made her feel safe. Within moments, she found herself sharing fragments of her story: her father's stroke, the mounting medical bills, the potential hospital budget cuts. Michael listened carefully. He wasn't just hearing her words, he was understanding the weight behind them. His work with local charities had taught him to recognize genuine struggle, and Emma's story was more than just a challenge. It was a testament to human resilience. "No, a support group," Michael said softly. "It's for caregivers like yourself, people who are managing personal challenges while trying to maintain their professional lives." Emma's initial reaction was defensive. Support groups seemed like a sign of weakness, something she couldn't afford right now. Her life was about strength, about pushing through challenges, not sitting in a circle sharing vulnerabilities. But Michael was persistent. He wasn't pushy, just genuinely concerned. He shared stories of other healthcare workers he had helped, explaining how community support could provide not just emotional relief, but practical resources and connections. The local community center, where the support group met, was a modest building, with soft-colored walls and comfortable chairs arranged in a circular setup. Emma felt awkward during her first visit, her professional exterior feeling out of place among strangers, sharing personal struggles. The group was diverse: a retired teacher caring for her husband with dementia, a young father managing a child's chronic illness, a middle-aged man supporting his elderly parents. Each story was different, yet they shared a common thread of resilience and love. Emma discovered something unexpected in these meetings: understanding. These weren't strangers pitying each other, but warriors sharing battle strategies. They discussed practical tips about managing medical expenses, navigating complex healthcare systems, and maintaining personal mental health. Michael continued to be a supportive presence. He didn't just introduce her to the group, he helped her connect with local resources. He knew about scholarship programs for healthcare professionals, financial assistance schemes, and community support networks. Gradually, Emma's perspective began to shift. She realized that asking for help wasn't a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. The emotional burden she had been carrying alone was now being shared, distributed among people who genuinely understood her journey. Her colleagues at the hospital noticed a change. The exhaustion in her eyes was slowly being replaced by a renewed sense of hope. She was learning to balance her caregiving responsibilities with self-care, a concept she had previously dismissed as a luxury. The support group became more than just a weekly meeting. It transformed into a lifeline, a community of individuals who understood that strength wasn't about facing challenges alone, but about creating a network of support. Michael's introduction to this community was more than just a casual intervention. It was a pivotal moment in Emma's life, a bridge between her isolated struggle and a broader, more supportive world. As weeks passed, Emma began to see her challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as temporary hurdles. She was learning, growing, and most importantly, she was no longer alone in her journey. The breaking point had arrived, not as a moment of defeat, but as an opportunity for transformation. Emma Thompson was discovering that true strength wasn't about carrying every burden alone, but about having the courage to reach out and accept help when needed. Her story was just beginning to unfold, filled with potential, hope, and the quiet courage of an ordinary woman facing extraordinary challenges. The scholarship application form lay spread across Emma's kitchen table, surrounded by half-empty coffee mugs and scattered medical documents. Her fingers trembled slightly as she reviewed the requirements, memories of her past academic struggles echoing in her mind. Michael Roberts had discovered a specialized scholarship program for healthcare professionals pursuing advanced training. The opportunity seemed almost too good to be true: full tuition coverage, additional financial support, and a pathway to advanced nursing qualifications. Emma's self-doubt was her biggest enemy. Years of financial struggles had convinced her that opportunities like these were meant for other people: more confident, more privileged individuals. Her hands would often pause over the application, her inner voice whispering dangerous words. Of discouragement, the support group became her unexpected source of motivation. During one meeting, an elderly nurse named Margaret shared her own story of returning to education later in life. "Age is just a number," she had said, her eyes sparkling with wisdom. "Your determination matters more than any past limitation." Those words resonated deeply with Emma. She remembered her father's teachings about perseverance, how he had rebuilt their lives after losing his wife, how he had worked multiple jobs to ensure she received a good education. With renewed courage, Emma began crafting her application. She didn't just fill out forms, she poured her heart into every section. She wrote about her father's stroke, her commitment to healthcare, her dreams of making a difference. Her story wasn't just an application, it was a declaration of her resilience. The selection committee was used to seeing standard applications, but Emma's narrative stood out. It wasn't about perfect grades or impressive achievements. It was about genuine human experience, about a daughter's love, about a nurse's dedication. Weeks passed. Emma continued her routine, caring for her father, working her hospital shifts, attending support group meetings. The scholarship application became a distant hope, something she had dared to dream about, but wasn't certain would materialize. Then came the letter, a crisp official envelope that arrived on a quiet Wednesday morning. Emma's hands shook as she opened it, her heart racing with a mixture of hope and anxiety. "Congratulations," the letter began. She had been selected. The scholarship wasn't just financial support. It represented a lifeline, a bridge between her current challenges and future possibilities. Advanced nursing training meant better job opportunities, improved skills and potentially higher income to support her father's medical needs. Her hospital colleagues were thrilled. Dr. Williams, who had always believed in her potential, congratulated her with genuine pride. "You deserve this," he said, his eyes reflecting a mixture of professional respect and personal warmth. The support group celebrated her achievement. Michael Roberts, who had initially suggested the scholarship, looked genuinely proud. "This is what community support looks like," he told her, his smile reflecting the collective joy of their small network. Emma's father, despite his physical limitations, understood the significance of the moment. From his hospital bed, he squeezed her hand, a gesture more powerful than words, communicating pride, love, and hope. The scholarship brought more than just educational opportunities. It restored Emma's confidence. She began to see herself not just as a caregiver, but as a professional with potential, with dreams that could be realized. Her first advanced nursing class was a transformative experience. Surrounded by fellow professionals, Emma realized she wasn't just learning medical skills. She was discovering her own strength, her capacity to grow, to overcome, to dream. The financial relief was significant. The scholarship covered her tuition and provided additional support for her father's medical expenses. For the first time in years, Emma could breathe without the constant pressure of financial uncertainty. But more than money or education, the scholarship represented something profound, a recognition of her journey, her struggles, her unwavering spirit. It was a testament to the fact that opportunities find those who are prepared, those who remain hopeful, those who refuse to be defined by their challenges. Emma's unexpected opportunity was more than a scholarship. It was a new chapter, a fresh beginning, a promise of transformation. Her story was proving that sometimes hope arrives in the most unexpected packages, carrying the power to change everything. The advanced nursing program transformed Emma's world in ways she never imagined. Each lecture, each practical session became a stepping stone towards her personal and professional renaissance. Her classmates noticed her dedication, a quiet intensity that set her apart from typical students. Dr. Helen Carter, her primary instructor, recognized something special in Emma. During a complex medical case study, Emma's approach was different. She didn't just analyze medical data, she understood the human story behind each patient. Her experiences caring for her father had given her a unique perspective that textbooks could never teach. At home, her father George was experiencing his own transformation. The specialized care techniques Emma was learning translated directly into his rehabilitation. She introduced new physiotherapy methods, nutrition plans, and communication strategies that gradually improved his recovery. Michael Roberts continued supporting Emma's journey. He connected her with additional resources, helped her navigate complex medical support systems, and provided emotional encouragement during challenging moments. His friendship had become a crucial pillar in her support network. The hospital where Emma worked began noticing her evolving skills. Her colleagues watched as she seamlessly integrated advanced medical knowledge with compassionate patient care. She was no longer just a nurse. She was becoming a healthcare innovator. One particular patient's story became a turning point. An elderly gentleman named Robert, struggling with similar challenges to her father, received exceptional care under Emma's guidance. Her personalized approach helped him recover faster than medical predictions suggested. Robert's family was so impressed that they wrote a commendation letter to the hospital management. The letter detailed how Emma's care went beyond medical treatment. She provided hope, understanding, and genuine human connection. The support group became Emma's extended family. Members who had once shared their vulnerable moments now celebrated her achievements. They saw her transformation as a collective victory, proof that community support could create miraculous changes. Financial pressures began easing. The scholarship, combined with her improved nursing skills, opened new career opportunities. Emma started receiving offers for specialized positions, each bringing better compensation and professional growth. Her father, George, became her biggest supporter. Despite his physical limitations, his eyes would light up hearing about her academic achievements. Their relationship had always been close, but now it transformed into a beautiful partnership of mutual care and respect. Emma's approach to nursing was holistic. She understood that healing wasn't just about medical procedures, but about understanding patient stories, providing emotional support, and creating personalized care strategies. The local medical community started recognizing her potential. Dr. Williams recommended her for additional specialized training programs, seeing her as a promising future leader in healthcare. Her transformation wasn't just professional. Personally, Emma was becoming more confident, more articulate, and more hopeful. The constant worry that had once defined her life was slowly being replaced by excitement for future possibilities. The support group meetings became her inspiration ground. She started sharing her experiences, helping other caregivers understand that challenges could be transformed into opportunities. Her story became a beacon of hope for many struggling healthcare professionals. Michael continued mentoring her, helping her navigate complex professional landscapes. He saw in Emma not just a successful nurse, but a potential community leader who could inspire systemic changes in healthcare approach. George's recovery became a testament to Emma's dedication. Doctors were surprised by his progress, crediting her innovative care techniques and unwavering commitment. What had once seemed an impossible medical challenge was now a story of remarkable human resilience. Emma's journey represented more than personal achievement. It was a powerful narrative about the potential of human spirit, the importance of community support, and the transformative power of education and compassion. As she completed her advanced nursing program, Emma realized her biggest transformation wasn't about professional skills or financial stability. It was about understanding her own strength, her capacity to create change, and her ability to turn personal challenges into opportunities for growth. Her story was still unfolding, filled with promise, hope, and the quiet determination that had always defined her character. From a struggling caregiver to an emerging healthcare professional, Emma Thompson had proven that with courage, support, and belief, anything was possible. The healing wasn't just about her father or her patients. The most profound healing had happened within herself, a transformation of spirit, resilience, and limitless potential. The community center bustled with energy as Emma Thompson stood before a group of healthcare workers and caregivers. Her journey had come full circle, transforming from a struggling nurse to a beacon of hope for others facing similar challenges. Her father, George, sat in the front row, his eyes filled with pride. His recovery had become a testament to the power of love, care, and medical innovation. What had once seemed an impossible journey was now a story of remarkable transformation. Michael Roberts introduced Emma as the keynote speaker, his voice filled with genuine admiration. The support group that had once been her lifeline was now a platform from which she could inspire others. Each word she spoke carried the weight of her personal experience, raw, honest, and deeply motivating. 3 years ago, I was where many of you are now, Emma began, her voice steady and warm. Overwhelmed, exhausted, and believing I was alone in my struggles. The audience listened intently, recognizing the vulnerability in her words. Her advanced nursing qualifications had opened doors she never thought possible. The scholarship that seemed like a distant dream had become a turning point in her life. Now she was developing specialized care programs for families dealing with chronic medical conditions. The local hospital had recognized her potential. Emma was no longer just a nurse, but a key member of the healthcare innovation team. Her approach combined medical expertise with deep emotional intelligence, something her colleagues and patients valued immensely. She started a support network specifically designed for healthcare workers and family caregivers. The program offered practical resources, emotional support, and professional development opportunities. What began as a small initiative quickly grew into a regional support system. Dr. Williams, her mentor, had become a close professional ally. Together, they were developing training programs that focused on holistic patient care, emphasizing the importance of emotional support alongside medical treatment. George's recovery continued to amaze medical professionals. The specialized care techniques Emma had learned, combined with her unwavering love, had defied initial medical predictions. He was now able to walk with assistance, something doctors had once considered impossible. The support group had become her extended family. Members who had once shared their darkest moments now celebrated collective victories. Emma had transformed from a struggling caregiver to a community leader, inspiring hope in countless lives. Financial stability was no longer a constant worry. Her advanced qualifications and innovative work had brought not just improved income, but a sense of professional fulfillment. She could now provide comprehensive care for her father and plan for their future. Her story began spreading beyond the local community. Healthcare magazines featured her journey, highlighting the power of resilience, education, and community support. Emma became a symbol of hope for many struggling healthcare professionals. Michael Roberts continued to be a crucial support in her life. Their friendship had grown stronger, built on mutual respect and shared commitment to community welfare. He helped her expand the support network, connecting with resources and opportunities. Emma's approach to healthcare was revolutionary. She understood that healing wasn't just about medical procedures, but about understanding individual stories, providing emotional support, and creating personalized care strategies. The local government began recognizing her work. Invitations to healthcare policy discussions became more frequent. Emma was slowly becoming a voice for compassionate, holistic healthcare approaches. Her support group evolved into a comprehensive support system. They offered financial advice, mental health, resources, professional development opportunities, and a platform for shared experiences. What had once been a small meeting had transformed into a powerful community network. As she looked out at the audience, Emma saw reflections of her past self. Tired eyes, hopeful hearts, individuals struggling but refusing to give up. Her journey had shown that challenges could be transformed into opportunities. George's presence in the front row was a constant reminder of her motivation. Their relationship had always been about mutual care, love, and unwavering support. Now it had become a powerful narrative of hope and resilience. Emma's story was far from over. Each day brought new challenges, new opportunities, new chances to make a difference. Her transformation was ongoing, a continuous journey of growth, learning, and giving back. As the applause filled the room, Emma realized that her greatest achievement wasn't her professional success. It was her ability to turn personal struggles into a platform for helping others, to transform pain into purpose. A new beginning wasn't just about her individual journey. It was about creating hope, inspiring change, and proving that with courage, support, and belief, anything was possible.